name is Anila Rafiq, and I am here to share with you about living benefits. I truly believe that living benefits is the way of the future. Every single person needs to be able to have access to living benefits. So what is living benefits? Well, that's what we're here to discover. What happens when you die too soon? That's what traditional life insurance has always been about, right? We get coverage because we want to protect our loved ones. But really, it's actually death insurance is what it is, because it's something that gets paid out after you die. And that's why people don't like to talk about it. Now, is it needed? Of course, yes. If you love your family, you absolutely need to have some kind of life insurance policy because you want to make sure that they are protected should something unforeseen happen to you. And there's really two components, right, to life insurance. There's the term policy, which is basically has no cash value, allows you access if something should happen to you, and it's only available for a limited period of time. And then you have your permanent policy. Now, your permanent policy, just like a term policy, also allows you to have access to a death insurance, death benefit if you pass, but it has a savings component added to it as well. And that is why it will last for, if saved properly, last for your whole life. And should you want to, you can access that savings component as well. Now, those two parts have always been around in life insurance for over 200 years. Okay, that's not new. What is new is this piece of the puzzle. Now, this piece of the puzzle is really about what happens if you become sick. And I think that piece of the puzzle is actually most important right now because more and more people now are living longer lives. And the part about becoming sick is the reality is we will most likely get sick before something else happens to us. So what happens when you become sick? Well, most people have not planned for it. And generally, you just hope it's not going to happen to you, because if it does, how are you going to cover those costs related to the illness? So what does this mean? Well, living benefits coverage really lets you access to your death benefit while you're still alive through 4 different riders. There's terminal illness, chronic illness, critical illness, and critical injury. And I'm going to give you an example of $500,000 policy. And so if you got terminally ill, and if your doctor diagnoses you only have 24 months to live, what the company will allow you to do is access up to 90% of that $500,000, that's up to $450,000, completely tax-free, and that's available immediately upon issue. What happens if you get a chronic illness? That's where you can't do 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living, the same triggers that people have used in long-term care plans. And yes, long-term care plans are another option. The reason that I don't personally like long-term care plans is because, first of all, they're very expensive. And second of all, what if I don't get sick? Then it's just money that I've paid that I lose. I don't get it back. So to me, that actually doesn't make much sense. And to be honest, a lot of people can't even afford a long-term care plan. So what does this do? This, if you can't do 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living, you will be able to access 1 to 2% of a month on the monthly basis. It's up to $10,000 in this example, tax-free, and in most states that's available within 30 days. Now, what also the chronic illness rider allows you to do is if you become mentally impaired. Now, guys, we are living longer lives. Later on, as we get older, mental impairment, dementia, these things, Alzheimer's, these are going to kick in. So what happens in that situation? Again, the same thing. If you have a general cognitive impairment, you can access that death benefit as well, again, using up to 1 to 2% on a monthly basis, tax-free. What about critical illness and critical injury? Now, what is the difference? First of all, the company realizes that there are situations where you can become injured, which are not really an illness, but the same thing applies. You need some kind of income coming in to pay your bills, to pay your mortgage, and all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about illness first. Well, critical illness, these are the triggers that the company allows for critical illnesses. And please bear in mind, some states don't cover all of them. So you do need to check with your state to see what your state allows. But majority of states will cover most of these. And if you look, the main reasons that people get sick, which is cancer, heart attack, and stroke, are all covered. And that's actually the main reasons that we have found people to take advantage of having living benefits. And critical injury, one of the main reasons people have critical injuries is traumatic brain injury. Okay, so in both those cases, you would have access up to 70%. That's up to $350,000 tax-free, and that's available in 30 days. So what does that look like? Well, here's an example of a check that was paid out to a client. He had $1 million policy. About 7 months into the policy, he got stage 4 cancer. And just so you know, when he took the policy out, he had a full medical, he's absolutely okay. But he had stage 4 cancer, and due to that, he accelerated his living benefits and got a check for $794,522. Now, anybody who has that kind of money sitting in their bank account is not going to be stressed. What can he use the money for? You can use it for anything, right? You can use living benefits to pay for whatever you want: household expenses, home modifications, regular bills, anything you want. And this is the beauty of having living benefits versus having a long-term care plan. And this is not the same as having health insurance. Health insurance will take care of your health-related costs. It will take care of you having x-rays and going to the doctors and those medical-related issues. It will not pay your mortgage. It will not pay your bills. It will not pay for the electricity, the gas, or put your food on the table. So for those reasons, income replacement when you're sick is so, so crucial. So moving on, who are we? Well, National Life Group is a company that's been around since 1848, very old, very established, mutually owned company. They are now ranked number 9 in the US for selling individual life insurance policy. Why? Because living benefits is the way of the future. More and more people now realize that they need to have living benefits, that just having a death insurance is just not enough. So I hope you found this valuable. I hope that you will explore this a little bit further and see if this is a good fit for you. I thank you for your time and appreciate you being here today.